float.
Hi, my name is Ellen Patrick. I'm a yoga teacher and a yoga therapist, as well as the co-owner of Breathe Salt Rooms. Breathe Salt Rooms was the brainchild of both my husband and myself. We decided to create these salt rooms in New York City as a way of helping others breathe better and overcome respiratory ailments. The salty yoga is extremely therapeutic for the respiratory system. It differs from a regular yoga practice in that we are preparing the body for better breathing patterns. Most people don't know how to breathe properly, and not only that, but their bodies are so tight they can't breathe properly. So through a salty yoga practice, students learn how to stretch the primary and secondary muscles of respiration. They also learn how to strengthen the diaphragm, which is the major muscle of respiration. And so through this practice, not only are students learning intellectually how the breath manifests in the body, but they're also using the yoga postures to really zone in on those areas of the body that need attention, that need to stretch, that need to strengthen, so that the breath can be much deeper and more effective. We came up with this idea for salty yoga for our clients at Breathe Salt Rooms. The main objective in our therapy here is to get people to breathe better, to open up the respiratory system. But we've been finding that other yogis are very interested in salty yoga. They want to try something different. They're open to learning about the more therapeutic values of yoga. I've been actually a practitioner of yoga maybe for about 35 years. And about 16 years ago, I decided to become a yoga teacher. So I've been teaching yoga for that long. I also owned and operated my own studio for 12 years. And I am now the co-owner of Breathe Salt Rooms, incorporating the practice of yoga within this therapeutic treatment and modality. And I'm also working with many populations that are not ordinarily served by yoga, such as cancer patients, those with Alzheimer's, veterans. And so from my perspective, I want to be able to bring yoga to those who need it to help them heal, to give them tools that they can use to empower themselves. It is a very unique experience practicing yoga in a salt room. The floor is covered with 6 inches of pink Himalayan salt, so it's almost like practicing yoga on a beach. We do put our mats down, but I often encourage students to just roll up their mats and stick their feet into the salt crystals. The challenge here is that perfection of the postures can be a little difficult because the floor is not stable. So when we're focusing on the practice, it's more about the torso rather than the correct and perfection of alignment in the limbs, the legs and the arms. So we're working towards stretching open the intercostal muscles, strengthening the back muscles so that posture is optimal and the diaphragm has room to breathe, to move as you breathe. So as far as the alignment of the knees and legs and arms, we're not so much focusing on that. It's more about the torso. Salty yoga can be used by anybody. Children can come for a Salta yoga class, adults, pregnant women as well. This, using the salt that's aerated into the room while we're practicing is safe for anybody. There are no contraindications, there are no bad side effects. Pregnant women, based on their trimester, will need to modify accordingly to make room for their growing belly. But I do encourage modifications. That's part of my training as a yoga therapist, is to help students accommodate their abilities and limitations based on what's going on in their lives.
Float.
The challenge about practicing yoga in New York, from my perspective, is being aware enough of your own personal needs and adapting the practice accordingly. Just like the city itself, I think that a yoga practice in New York tends to be a little bit more fast-paced, a little bit more competitive, and students tend to get lost in the true meaning of what yoga is all about. We start with the physical, and yoga is supposed to take us a little bit more internally so that we're aware of when we're pushing too hard in a practice, or perhaps when we need to modify. We have the tendency here in New York to be a little bit more focused on the external. So I think the challenge here in New York is not to be distracted by all the noise and the clamor and the competition, and to really get based in your own experience. If you're interested in checking out my Salta yoga classes, you can go to the website breathesaltrooms.com and find out a schedule of our classes. I'm most proud of the work that I do with nonprofit organizations who bring yoga to those who are underserved. If you'd like to know more about those organizations, you can go to their websites, Kula for Karma, Connected Warrior, and Yoga for Cancer.
Nous allumerons des milliers de crépuscules.